Under your physical, now this one, I'll show you a trick behind this one. Obviously, you're going to put in your initial assessment time. Let's say that I'm only needing to document something's wrong with the chest and everything else is normal. Do I have to go down through each and every one of these and mark this normal? No. All you have to do is click within normal limits, and now you've marked everything as normal. Now all I have to do is go back to my chest, uncheck it, and mark it for what it is. And then if I need to later go in and do another assessment on my chest specifically, then I could choose the add button, and then I could go in and I could put in a new time there. And then what this will do is this will allow me to go in and then do a secondary assessment on what that needs to be. And then you can see there's been 2 done on the chest while everything else falls underneath the 1. And you got other things here that you can fill out as well. It's just mostly common sense stuff, right? Under vitals, it's my understanding that we are going to be configuring your life packs to be able to import all your vital signs into the chart like you do for your current system. Only reason why we haven't done that yet is so we don't mess anything up now that it's doing good. So we don't want to all of a sudden create problems for you today until you guys go live for this system in trying to get things into AmbiPro. So we want to just hold off and towards the very end. But what will happen is over on the Devices tab, you'll be able to use this and select the device that you're going to import. And you'll be able to import that data straight from that device. And then that's automatically going to populate all your vitals. And you could click on each one of those and make modifications to those or remove those, whatever the case may be. If you have to do your vitals by hand, I want to show you the quickest, easiest way of doing that. Select your date and time, who did the vitals, go in and put in the data where it needs to go. Do a really good job of filling out your first set, because what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to copy from your latest set. And where that becomes important is filling out all these dreaded drop-down values over here on the right-hand side that takes time to go through. So when you get everything the way you want it, and you want to create a second set, add your second set, do copy from latest, and now just change the things you need to change and leave everything else the same. And you'll be able to do so, and you'll be able to create a whole bunch of those really quickly. Now, the real cool thing is when you go down here and you do your Glasgow Coma score here. One of the things that it does, which I like, is it goes over to the right-hand side and it automatically does a scales and a scores for you for the Glasgow Coma score. Because whether or not you do it as a part of your vital or whether or not you do it individually on its own, I believe it should reference the two when it can, where it can, when it falls on the same time, so that while you're doing something, you can see also there's something like that that's related over here, and it just makes sure that you put in the right information, thinking the right thing, and you don't get your times mixed up based upon whatever. One of the other charting systems I've used in the past would allow you to document oxygen in 3 different places, but it did not tie the oxygen in as the 3, or it didn't tie it in as the 1. It tied it in as the 3 different entries. It might be on the same time, but it would allow you to say at 9 o'clock I gave 15 liters of oxygen by a non-rebreather. In another place you could put 9 o'clock I gave 6 liters. In another place I gave 10 liters. and everything all at once on that same patient, and 4 years down the road in court, that could be difficult to explain. Well, that system was flawed for allowing you to do that. This system doesn't do that. I do like how they do that. You can add multiple scales and scores by clicking the Add button. And, say I have to do another Glasgow Coma score. They were 15, now they're a 3. I could tell that story by adding a second one in and then just marking this as a 3. And then put, they went unresponsible, whatever the case may be. You also have your APGAR score, level of responsiveness, reperfusion checklist if you're using thrombolytics, your FAST-ED stroke score, all that stuff lists here as well. Devices tab, because you could be doing a 12 lead from your device, your 12 leads will appear here, and when they do, you can go ahead and you could do your measurements and your interpretation of those and be able to mark those accordingly from side of here. Really, when you import from your monitor, you wouldn't necessarily have to use the ECG tab. So keep in mind, this could be extra. We left it in here because you might use it outside of using the monitor, especially if you're using somebody else's ECG that was already done. But just keep in mind, you do have both. The ECG information is in both on both tabs here. Under Treat, it's really simple. You got medications. You can select the medication. Bam, there you go. It's going to fill out some of the information from you, but it allows you to go in and then document the details on that. You can add as many medications as you need to. Okay. Procedures. Select the procedure. This list is customizable. Your medication list is customizable. And like, for example, if you do an oral tracheal intubation, you'll fill that information out here. But now over here on the airway tab, it makes sense where you could document some of the reasons why the date and time that you decided to manage that airway and why, and all of the things with that, the tube depth and things like that. You wouldn't necessarily use the airway tab if you didn't have an airway procedure. So this tab is only if you need to use it. Otherwise, if the patient's a Glasgow Coma score of 15, you didn't even put them on oxygen, there's probably no reason to even worry about an airway because you didn't decide to do anything. Just ignore it. Same thing for the CPR tab. If the patient wasn't ever in rest, you ignore that tab as well. So really you only have medications and procedures. How simple is that? We get over to drop-off. I, again, love the fact that your common places, you find your common places up here, absolutely, and you can scroll down and find those. Or if you have a real common place that you go to, like you create it as a template. And the beauty behind doing a template is if you commonly go to, let's say, Metro West, and it's always done because it's your protocol, I don't know, or closest facility. I'm just making this up, guys, so bear with me. I do not know your area. And it's a hospital, and you're always taking them into the emergency department. Okay, when you decide to build this as a template, instead of just relying on the select location and selecting it from inside of here, what you are doing is not only putting it down inside of here, but with using it as a template, you can also make it automatically select these. And then you don't have all these to select. So with a template, you've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 selections, all by selecting one thing and then clicking confirm. Versus at the bare minimum, you have to click on the destination tab, then you have to click on select location, find it, then you have to scroll down to this one, here, here, here. I'm a salesman for the templates, guys. I just believe that they work well. Transports, the transport tab, how you transport the patient to the ambulance. This could be templates as well. The position you transported them in, your disposition there. Lights and siren, no lights and siren. I've seen templates used here. They've made a couple of different options under your templates to demonstrate how you got them back to the receiving facility without lights. And then down here at the bottom is your hospital team activation. If you all do STEMI alerts or stroke alerts, this is where you can document that. Under your patient narrative tab, you can copy from a template, from a Word document, and paste that into here. The spelling is a medical spell check, so you'll have that there as well. And so you'll be able to do that, and then you'll have the print option over here at the far right-hand side where you click the structured data, and it's going to give you a copy of the printout that you can either A, send it to your printer, B, save it as a PDF on your computer, or go over here to click the fax button, and this will fax it to the BIDMC Boston. My understanding, maybe the AmbuPro, and forgive me if I'm wrong on this, because this come up as a couple of questions. Do I have to do something to fax it? Yes, you have to click the fax button to fax it. That is a manual process inside of this system, but it will automatically come up by default with the number that Chris has programmed for that hospital in your system. And then if you need to back that out and send it somewhere else as well, you could do that too. And then click the fax and fax it to a second location that way too. Definitely have the ability to do either one. Now, I think this is hidden, but I'm going to point it out. Attach PDF is at the very bottom of this. If you have a face sheet, an insurance card, something that you need to attach to this EPCR, you can find that attachment, that PDF attachment, and attach it here, and it will also fax itself over with whatever else gets faxed. You have that ability to do that as well, but all your attached documents will show here unless it's a camera image, and you'll see that in other places inside the EPCR. Review and submit. All your times are in location. If you have any delays that you need to document, that's in this tab. I don't see a lot of people that try to use this protocol, but it's here. If you want to document which protocols you used inside of here, you definitely could do that as well. Here's your odometer tab. Here's your addendum tab, and I'll explain to you addendums in just a moment. And then here is your validation tab, which is identically the same thing as hitting the V over on the right-hand side. The V allows you to bring this up as a window that kind of sits over top of whatever page you're on. This particular tab is kind of the last tab because the submit button is on it. But before you submit it, here's Chris's signature block for being able to sign the chart. Here's Jerry's for being able to sign the chart. Here's Ed's. And here's the receiving facilities for being able to sign the chart. But here's all your validation rules that hopefully you got green checks all the way down through here because you need 4 of those or however many there are before the submit button will submit. Once you've submitted it, it's locked, it's gone, it's on to billing, it's on to the state, it's on to QA. Okay, it's moved on to the next level. And if you are on the mobile device, as I mentioned, it will go away. Let's say, for example, that I do this. I go back out to the home screen, and all of a sudden, I don't see that chart anymore because it's gone away. And I'm like, crap, I forgot to document, or I didn't document the right thing, I need to fill out an addendum. What do I do? What you'll have to do is you'll have to reach out to Chief Deckers, or you'll have to reach out to Chris or someone that is in your leadership structure that has been taught and trained on how to do this. You have to tell them, I need to fill out an addendum on this chart, whatever it is, and they're going to have to go back in, they're going to have to find it, and they're going to have to unlock it and reopen it. When they reopen it, it will automatically come back down to your queue on your mobile device or when you log on to Hub. And then when you load it, you could go right into the area, wherever it is. You can make the change that you need to make. But before you're allowed to hit the submit button, again on the validation page, you have to go over here to the addenda and you have to add an addendum. And then you have to put in your addendum of what you changed inside of the EPCR. And you have to click confirm. And then once you've added that addendum, then you'll be able to go in and be able to hit the submit button. And you'll be allowed to submit your chart. Otherwise, it shows up as a validation rule that you must complete an addendum first. Now, for anybody that noticed that I changed that 6 from a 12, and it makes it appear like it never was a 6, that will not be the case. Every single field, every single value, every single time you edited that field is captured as an independent entry in on our log. So we will be able to see that it was a 6 before it was changed to a 12. And anyone that's doing any type of audit from an addendum perspective will be able to see what was changed inside of the EPCR, obviously in addition to what they wrote as an addendum. So it's really up to you guys to be honest about what you're writing in here and saying that you changed, because they will be able to see whatever was changed or what the values were before anytime that they want to. Just giving that to you, heads up. Down here at the very bottom, again, in your side of mobile, you're going to have a lot of data elements in here that's going to show you that might be being synced and pushed up to Hub, because it does it automatically as you're typing things in when you have connection to the internet. When you don't have connection to the internet, it's just saving it locally until it gets connection to the internet. This first button is like to activate your camera anytime you need to take a picture. This next one is a time-based, if you will, if you're like confused. When I went and put in things inside the EPCR, this will tell you what you did and so forth, and give you kind of the ability to see how things were put into the EPCR in a timeline that you put them in there. I don't know, honestly, when I would ever use this, but it's kind of cool to look at. But it just gives you kind of that breakdown. Down here on the right of this are your 2 forms. So your WFD HIPAA form, you can get a signature on that. If this is also a patient refusal, you could click on that, get a signature on that. To the right of that, this is just a glove or a piece of tape on your legs. This does not show up in the EPCR at all, but this is just a scratch pad for you. To the right of that is a list of all your protocols. To the right of that is taking you right back to this validation screen. So 3 ways of getting to this validation screen or getting validation. Review and submit, clicking on the validation, clicking on the check mark, takes you to this exact same page, or anytime you want to, clicking the V, and it will take you to a page that you can run your validation rules on, be able to see what you've forgotten to do, and you can go in and make those changes as you need to. And just like under drop-off, you've got the print tab. So does clicking the printer icon, taking you to the exact same page so you can do a print off of your chart as well. You can do it in 1 or 2 ways there. That is me in an hour and a half a little under an hour and a half, going through this entire system, telling you everything that you need to know about this entire system to be successful. I'm sure a lot of people's brains are mush from hearing me talk an hour and a half. I apologize. I did record this. But let me pause and let me capture any questions that you guys might have, anything that you might want me to go back and talk about. If there's something specific that you normally do, can't do, just curious how we do it in our system. Is there anything at all that I can answer for you on the workflow of this system? Anything at all about the system at all? Looking around the room, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, a question about faxing and printing the report. So do those need to be done before submitting the report, or once you submit the report, can you fax and print?
I would say in most cases, you would probably want to fax it before you hit the submit button so that it doesn't go away on you. And ideally, like, there's no reason. It's a great question. Which one comes first, the chicken or the egg, or the cart or the horse here? I will tell you this, that under review and submit and under validation, when all three of, everything down here is green, like they should change this color to green, because when you hit the submit button, it's done. It's gone. So I would absolutely go down to the print. I would print off a copy of it. I would fax it where it needs to go. And I would jump back over here. Or you could hit the print here. Go print it. And then jump right back over here to the little green check mark and hit the submit, and it's gone. I'd print it first, fax it first, and then submit it. Make it go away.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you got two quick shortcuts to that down at the very bottom. That's what I would do. I'd print it off and then bam, submit it. I think here's the big concern. I wouldn't want to send something off, then change it, and then I have to send it again. So green check marks down through here, is your indication that you're done. I wouldn't want to go print it and still have something to fix, and now I've got another copy I need to send because I made a change to the EPCR. I would only print it when all of these are green, and your intentions are to make it go away. So print it, check it first, make sure that all of these are green, go over here and print it, send it, fax it, and then go back over here and then lock it. And then you'll be done. And don't forget to sign it. Good question. Any other ones? All right. So my assumption is if you don't already know how to do this, I will point this out, because I'm not 100% what everybody's username is, but I believe everybody's initial password is password123 with a capital P. When you log into Hub for your first time, okay, and you are putting in your username and your password for the first time, let's just log on page load here. This is Silverlight loading in the background. Love it. Okay, you're going to put in whatever your username is, and you're going to put in that password 123. If it does not log you in and bring you into this page that I've screenshotted here that asks you to put in your current password that you just put in and then a new password that you wanted to change it to, so that you can hit the password change button and update your current password. If it does not do this, what you want to do is, once you are logged onto your screen, go up to the Edit User Settings, click on that, and then do that here. Put in the current password, put in your new password, confirm your new password, click Confirm Change Password, and then click Save. And then now your password has been updated from password 123 to whatever your new password is. Make sure you follow the requirements on this page. Then, either all at once or individually, it doesn't matter. Go down to the mobile device that you're going to be using on the truck and make sure that you bring the log-on screen up and that you go down to the sync panel and that you go under user accounts and you click the sync button and you pull all those user accounts down. That brings all those passwords down so you'll be able to use those new passwords in the system. Guys, when you all go live, I will be here from a training perspective. Our software engineering team and our leadership at Beyond Lucid will be here from a go live perspective to support you guys going live, to make sure you have everything that you need to be successful. My responsibility is to take out all of the pain that it really goes through going from one ePCR into another, and to help you streamline and get better use out of this system than you did your previous system. And that's the goal. That's what we want to focus on and get to. But you guys can reach out to me anytime you want to. Definitely Chris and Chief Deckers is going to basically tell you the chain of command that they want you to use into getting over to us. Hopefully someday that will be just reaching out to us directly, but I think he wants you to filter things to them first, and then those guys will get things over to us, and we'll be there to support you. So any other last questions before we jump off?
Nope.
Well, I appreciate everything that you all do in the field every single day. I know what your job is. I've been there, done that. Don't get to do it anymore. It's bittersweet for me. But my prayers with you guys every day for what you do. Thank you for what you do, how you serve and protect. And we're here on this side to make you successful. Have a great day. Have a great shift. And we'll be there to support you when you guys go live. I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll get this a copy over to the leadership. They'll be able to share this with you. Stop